Well, here we are, everyone. It is now May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. Happy May the 4th. Today was the official premiere of the Bad Batch TV series, The Bad Batch Episode 1. Guys, I do suggest that you guys go ahead and check it out. It best is described as feeling like a movie when you first watch this episode. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of fans have been very intrigued and curious about is exactly what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have in store for the future of Star Wars overall, and exactly what Jon Favreau is planning to do with new Star Wars TV shows that are going to expand everything related to George Lucas's vision of the franchise. So keep that in mind, is that we got George, Jon, and Dave all working together as a team to really revive a great portion of Star Wars Legends in the mix, to really give the fans a fresh new take on the Star Wars universe. The other thing is this, is that given that The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4 are being worked on back-to-back in a similar fashion to that of the Lord of the Rings movies, you know, they're being worked on back-to-back when it comes to the scripts, they're going to plan to shoot the actual seasons back-to-back, so we're not going to have another gap like with Season 3. You know, with Season 3, we're not getting that until next year in 2022. We're going to be getting Season 4 in 2023 instead of what could have been 2024, if that makes sense. So, the thing that really excites a lot of fans the most is exactly what Jon Favreau is planning to do with Star Wars, given that Kathleen Kennedy pretty much has no creative involvement with any of the TV shows except for Star Wars The Acolyte, which, by the way, she will no longer have control over that this upcoming June. So here's the thing that really does surprise a lot of Star Wars fans, alright, is that now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars projects, such as Kenobi, Ahsoka, and even The Mandalorian Season 3, it's best described that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are busy developing their new Star Wars TV shows also that are set to be announced later this year, and also in 2022 at Star Wars Celebration. However, in a recent interview, it's described that Jon Favreau was questioned about Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership over the Star Wars franchise. Jon Favreau at one point in time went on to unveil that he would often fall into creative differences with Kathleen Kennedy over The Mandalorian Season 1, and that it was actually the main reason as to why fans did not get to see Boba Fett in the first season. Let's stop right here for 1 second, is that yes, we do know that the Season 1 of The Mandalorian was supposed to have a lot of Boba Fett sequences, or at the very minimum, what Jon Favreau wanted was an actual cameo of him at the very end of the movie. What you saw of Boba Fett in the very beginning of Season 2, basically Jon Favreau wanted to do something like that for Season 1 to really bring up the hype for Season 2. Moving on. Favreau also unveils that he wanted to actually create more major cameos in Season 1, and that he and Dave Filoni had great ideas of him even saying that the Mandalorian, aka Din Djarin, could even be saved by Boba Fett. Favreau unveils that Kathleen Kennedy was against the idea and pushed for it to be cancelled from the Season 1 finale, and instead wanted to push for a different finale. It wasn't until when Kathleen Kennedy lost her creative power in 2020 that Jon had full control over Season 2, hence why you got to see all your fan-favorite characters thrown in there. Favreau also reveals that Luke Skywalker was also supposed to have a big reference in the first season that Kathleen Kennedy was also against, putting into the script, and felt that it would shift attention away from the new characters such as Grogu and others in the story. Favreau also unveils that Kennedy would often try to prevent Luke's big scene in The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, since she felt it was over the top for the Star Wars fans. And let me just say one thing about Luke Skywalker's scene in the eyes of Kathleen Kennedy as being over the top. This translates to Kathleen Kennedy being very afraid of the fans actually vividly seeing a contrast between her Luke Skywalker and Jon Favreau's Luke Skywalker. What do I mean by the contrast? I'm talking about the comparison between Luke in the sequel trilogy, The Last Jedi specifically only, and the Luke Skywalker that we all know and love that actually made a big debut in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Let me just tell you that Jon Favreau really gave fans hope. It wasn't until Gina Carano's firing that a lot of fans started questioning this light at the end of the tunnel for Star Wars, and I get that. I understand that. I do. Because we got a more vivid view of how Lucasfilm operates as a company, obviously, that they don't necessarily care about the fans, within. But today's May the 4th. It's a very exciting and important day for Star Wars fans. The Bad Batch guys, I gotta give it to them. I mean, I gotta give Lucasfilm credit. They did an excellent job. This is a great spin-off of the Clone Wars. You get a vivid and beautiful view at a post-Order 66 era. So you're getting everything that you have wanted to see that takes place within that realm, alright, within that scope. And it's a very interesting timeline. So we're going to be learning more about a lot of familiar faces, as well as a lot about new characters that will be coming into the mix. The other thing is this that I think a lot of fans need to know that's extremely important, is that Kathleen Kennedy, alright, she is still one that is against Luke Skywalker. She even said about maybe a month and a half to 2 months ago, give or take, that Luke Skywalker is an overrated character, alright? She said this at one point, that Luke is an overrated character, fans need to detach from that, and we need to focus on new characters, like in the High Republic era. Well, let me tell you, when we look at the characters in the High Republic era, and I do respect some of you guys out there that like the High Republic, hey, I mean, we've all got opinions, that's a part of being human after all, right? So, the fact that the characters in my book are poorly written for the High Republic era, it just goes to show that Kathleen Kennedy saying things like how Luke is overrated, it really means nothing. It really means nothing at all, because Luke is the story. Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, they are Star Wars. I mean, there's no denying this. I think that when we look at Star Wars, and Disney finally realized this, is that you can't really pull away from the franchise when it comes to the major beloved characters. Hence, why the Kenobi TV series is going to feature Darth Vader and the young Luke and Leia. Hence, also why the Ahsoka Tano series is going to feature Anakin Skywalker once again. Not just that, but other TV shows are also going to bring in familiar faces. A great example, the Book of Boba Fett, coming out this December. I mean, the list goes on. They want to at least hang on to the familiar faces as well as creating new characters. That's the best way to go about doing things, to see what works and see what doesn't work. When we look at what's coming up for the Marvel Universe, a lot of people have mixed feelings on the Eternals, because these are less familiar faces. They're not necessarily new, obviously, because they're tied to comics, but, live action wise and familiarity wise, not as many people know the Eternals as much as they do with Iron Man or Captain America and stuff. So it's going to be a very interesting transition to see all these TV shows featuring new characters as well as familiar characters. The Ahsoka Tano series and the Kenobi series, as of right now, by far most anticipated TV shows when it comes to Star Wars. A lot more than Andor, believe it or not. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, let me know what you think about the entire situation, and I'll catch you guys next time.